Hi, good morning. This is Dan. When I was 5 years old, we moved from the country into town. This move occurred shortly after school had started, so I rode the bus a few times, but then I had to be picked up by my mom. This was not a smooth transition for me. One day, after we were let out of kindergarten, I attempted to board the bus and was told by the bus driver that I didn't ride the bus anymore. So I walked up and down the street in front of the school looking for my mom, and I couldn't find her. I figured she'd forgotten to come pick me up, so I decided to walk home. Now, the house we moved to was on Clinton Avenue, the highway, not too far from where the church is on the west end of town, and the school was Franklin, which is on the east end of town. Now, at 5, I really didn't know how to get home from school, but I had a general idea and figured I would recognize things along the way. So I headed out. I ended up making my way to the highway, and I started walking in the grass along it towards downtown. However, as I was walking, things were not looking as familiar as I thought they would, or that they should. So I turned around and started heading back the way I'd come. After a while, I second guessed myself and turned around again and started walking back the other way, and I did that several times. All the time I was wondering where my mom was. I got myself so flustered and confused. I thought about walking back to the school, but since I'd walked back and forth so many times, I lost track of which street it was I needed to be on to get back to the school. So I just continued walking along the highway. My mom eventually found me, picked me up. Come to find out, she had not forgotten me. My 4-year-old sister and 3-year-old brother had delayed her ability to leave on time. So, have you ever felt like you've been forgotten by someone? Or have you ever felt like that God forgot about you? As I think back through my life, there are many times when I felt that God had forgotten about me. Oh, nothing spectacular, mostly just feeling overlooked or left out. There are many stories in the Bible where people thought that God had forgotten them. A couple of quick examples are Noah on the ark and the Israelites in Egypt. Genesis 8:1. But God remembered Noah and all the wild animals and the livestock that were with him in the ark, and he sent a wind over the earth, and the waters receded. And in Exodus 2, verses 23 through 25, now it came about in the course of those many days that the king of Egypt died, and the sons of Israel sighed because of the bonds. And they cried out, and their cry for help because of their bondage rose up to God. So God heard their groaning, and God remembered his covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The phrasing in both of these accounts is that God remembered, which, to us infers that God forgot, as I'm sure Noah and the Israelites would likely have felt as well. After all, Noah and his family were on the ark for a year, and the Bible doesn't say whether God was talking to Noah during that time. And the Israelites were captive in Egypt for 400 years without any word from God. But it wasn't that God forgot them, but God was simply waiting on the appropriate timing for action. From our human perspective, it can seem like God has forgotten us. But he can't forget his creations no more than we can forget our own children. The waters needed to stop and to recede, and the Israelites needed to get to the point where they really wanted to go to the promised land as opposed to staying with what they knew. The timing had to be right. Just like my mom had not forgotten me, but simply needed more time, and then as she instructed me in the future to be patient and wait at school for her, as she would not forget me regardless how long it took her to get there. No matter what you're going through or for how long, God has not forgotten you. Keep the faith. Keep praying. Be patient. God is working to bring about His will for you in His timing. We can all get like I was when I was 5, assuming we know what is going on, taking matters into our own hands, doubting, getting confused, turning around, and keep moving because we don't know what else to do. All of which made it more difficult for my mom to find me. Be patient. Wait on the Lord, for He knows, and He has not forgotten you. God bless you.